You're listening to All of It on WNYC. I'm Allison Stewart. Our March Get Lit with All of It book club selection was the novel A Guardian and a Thief by Megha Majumdar. The story takes place in a future version of Kolkata, India, that has been utterly transformed by climate change. So we were thrilled that for our Get Lit event, we were joined by a musical guest who also calls Kolkata his hometown. Purbayan Chatterjee is a virtuosic sitar player whose work combines Indian classical music with global genre fusion. He has played with Bela Fleck, Herbie Hancock, and the late Zakir Hussain. He actually changed his flight from India in order to join us for our event. You'll hear my conversation with Purbayan in just a moment, but first, here he is with a special performance alongside tabla player Vivek Bandia. That was extraordinary.
Thank you.
What was the name of that song?
So this is a raga which is called Raga Yaman, and then we have various varieties of it, and this was actually called Yaman Kalyan.
It almost sounded like, can I say that you were shredding your sitar?
Yes, you're allowed to say that.
I read in an interview that you said you watched guitar players and it changed the way you thought about how you could play the sitar. Could you explain that a little bit?
Yes, lots of guitar players. Actually, I had the good fortune of, and that's how it all started, my foray into jazz music or into other forms of music. I had the good fortune of hanging out and meeting Pat Metheny here in New York. Yeah, in his home studio. And he played my sitar and I played his guitar. And that's how it all started.
It's interesting when you think about you play Indian classical music, but you have broadened out into this global genre of jazz and different kinds of music. When did your interest in jazz really start?
So I think early 2000s is when I started listening to a lot of, Miles Davis, Ornette Coleman, all of that. And then onwards to this meeting with Pat Metheny was in 2009. And I think, and then I subsequently met people like Chick Corea, Bela Fleck, and onwards to Snarky Puppy. And I got a chance to play with them very recently. And they became great friends of mine.
What's challenging about combining traditional music with contemporary music?
Well, I think if you forget the tradition and what is contemporary, I think you first need to look at musical language and genre. And every kind of musical culture has its own language and own building blocks. In our case, it's the raga. It's more or less modal in nature, and when you try to connect with any Western form of music, then there's a whole world of harmony out there. But when I started to kind of look at trying to bridge the gap, I first started learning some of the other traditions of the world. And I think I've come to a point where now I think, because the word tradition is just so relative. And I'm quoting the great Ustad Zakir Hussain, and he said tradition is a point in time to which we feel like we are tethered, but it's also a moving point because we redefine tradition at several points. And so I try to kind of keep in mind when I compose or when I write for an album, I try to keep in mind the language that I've been taught, but I also try to keep in mind a language that will be relevant to larger numbers of people.
How long have you been playing the sitar?
I started when I was 5 years old, a very long time
ago. You were
ago.
a prodigy. You were a prodigy growing up. When did it become clear to you that music was going to be your career?
So incidentally, I grew up in the same city as Megha, in Kolkata. And I started learning music at the age of 3, vocal music, and then the sitar at the age of 5. And I went to a school which is called the Calcutta Boys School. And I fought hard with my mom. I always thought that I could do this and I could make a living. And I think she had her doubts about it. I got a lot of support from my dad, though, because he was, he was my guru and he is my guru. And, he's a musician himself. I think in my first year of college, I went to this college called Presidency College. In my first year of college, when I was hanging out with my peers and my, college mates, I found this calling increasingly within me, where I kind of decided that it was either going to be this or nothing else.
As you said, you're from Kolkata, and you were involved with making a song for the city. Is that true?
I was, and I haven't published it yet.
Oh, not yet?
Funnily enough, I wrote that song, finished the production. I got some 32 different artists, some of who are no more. And then as I finished mixing and mastering that song, I moved from Kolkata to Mumbai. So I guess I was a little ashamed to publish a song in Kolkata at that point.
I understand you have a new album that's going to be coming out. It's not out yet, but what can you tell us about it?
This is very exciting for me because I've worked with Mark Lettieri, who is part of the Snarky Puppy band, and we've created this album, which is a potpourri of raga music, of funk jazz, which is what Mark does, and a lot of modern electronica. So I can just say that this album has a lot of tradition and a lot of what's considered contemporary.
It's interesting. What do you think people can learn about the way you make music, the way you break down between genres? What can people learn about human behavior that way?
I think human behavior,
Or the way we deal with one another.
yeah, I mean it's so different yet so similar.
Right.
In my travels across the world, I've seen that I think the fundamentals are the same across cultures, across different countries in the globe. It's only the specifics which differ. There are protocol which changes, and there's maybe language, and there's culture. I think as you interact with larger number of people from larger number of cultures, you begin to learn more about yourself, and that's what goes into writing a book or writing a piece of music. It's all the same. I think you get better at it as you learn more about yourself.
You're going to be at the Big Ears Music Festival in Tennessee on March 28th. What are you looking forward to about that gig?
I've heard a lot about this festival, and I think I'm going to be reaching out to an audience which is probably relatively uninitiated to Indian classical music. So I want to be able to spread the word. Every time I perform for a new audience, I want to tell people how much fun Indian music is, because people are always talking about how spiritual and how serene it is, which it is, but it's also a lot of fun.
What are you going to play for us, the next song? What are we going to hear?
So I've thought about this raga called Mishra Pahadi, which has got folk undertones to it. And this is something that I have written for another album, which I'm going to publish in the next couple of years, once this one's out. And it's called Mishra Pahadi. It's in a 6/8 rhythmic cycle.
That was sitar player Purbayan Chatterjee with a special live performance from our March Get Lit with All of It event. Coming up next hour, we'll learn about the life of Paul Laurence Dunbar, the child of enslaved people who went on to become a celebrated literary figure before his death at the age of 33. We'll speak with biographer Jean Andrew Jarrett. Next.